All right, welcome back to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Anu, and today we're gonna try to be a little quick today because I don't really feel like I have the time for a long message. But without further ado, let's get to business. So, a little quick yap. I'm at the point where I'm looking for change, variety, and I'm looking for it in a way of how I respond to myself. And the reason why I'm looking at it from that point of view is I want to think to myself differently. So I don't mind putting the ball in other people's court kind of thing. I don't mind taking the time to be abnormal and to live a weird yet different life. There's just certain things that I would rather concentrate on other than, what people would want me to. And I fuck with that shit a lot more. And that's why. And just because it's not common doesn't mean that it's not available or real. Think about it like this, man. How many people are actually clowns? Like the job profession, of clown. How many people, then let's expand that, working like at a circus? How many people do some of the acts at a circus? Let's be a little more practical, Mr. Henson. How many people love animals so much, but how come there's so little vets? What the fuck is going on with that? What I'm saying and what I'm getting to is a lot of people just do shit. Some people are built to do things, and some people are doing things and they don't know that they're supposed to be doing things. What that means is that sometimes you are put into a position and you just fit there because that's what you're naturally inclined to do. It's your calling. Other times you're put into positions where you want to be there. It's your desire. Think of this as nature versus nurture. It's what you're interested in, so that's what you as an individual would like to nurture. But the things that you're just good at, that's your nature. So you might be applying certain things in multiple ways, and then the thing that gives you the biggest spark, those are the things you like go after. Kind of like people who use drugs and alcohol and have addictions. It's what they're going after. So I'm realizing that a lot of the things I've been going after, they're still not completely all just mine. Just like even living the same way, like with a job, like that part is still, it's never been jobs to me. It's always been work. So I've never even considered it really, and then I would talk in a way that would say like I have multiple jobs kind of thing. No. Now I want to talk to myself differently because I'm trying to elicit different responses. I'm trying to play around with how I mentally respond to things. And the mental response itself is something that I think really needs to be focused on because we don't all respond the same way. And sometimes we just lump ourselves up with other people. Personally, I used to hate that. I used to hate just being lumped together with others. And then I used to love it. I used to love being lumped together with just others. And it was cool because on both sides I saw benefit. But then I did not want to see the negative. And so because I didn't want to see the negative side of it, I didn't want to see the positive side, the other side to the negative. The negative is in the middle. So that means the negative can see positive on the left and positive on the right. But you being just positive, you're either the positivity on the left side or you're the positivity on the right. So whatever that thought is coming in from, that's what I'm talking about. You can be on the north side coming into the center, or you can be on the south side going towards the center. Two different directions, two different places doing the same exact thing, going to the center. So because you are at the center, you're the judge, you're the one who decides how you're going to respond to things, you're the one who decides what you're triggered by. Because that's the case, I'm a human too. So this is what I do. This is what I've been doing, but this is me trying to do it in a new way. I'm doing what I've been doing in a new way. So if you know if you know me, if you read my books, if you listen to my videos, my podcasts, my lectures, whatever, I got a lot of shit out there for people to just try to be better with. If you listen to that, it's all about becoming consciously aware of yourself, and then your cycles of self, and then a progression, so on and so forth. And then it's about deleting all of that and not giving a fuck to use it whatsoever. And trying something completely, starkly contrast and brand new. It's why did I do all of that just to say fuck it and throw the whole baby out with the bathwater? Why did I do that? Because you gotta understand that that's a different side to you. And that is the key. We're trying to become more familiar with multiple sides of ourselves. And because we have to be like completely different in order to feel that, situations help us understand that. But because I have experience in situations, if I was to, let's say, meditate upon it and actually think about working through this and the emotions, just like if you were doing breath work, we're doing mind work now. If we was to sit there and meditate and go through those scenarios, you can see the faults in the details. You can find reasons as to why you can be contrasting. You don't feel bad. You feel, oh man, that nagging thought, I finally understand it. Damn, thank you for being so persistent. You can start to change how you respond to yourself, even with the things that are irritating and annoying. Like, there's a lot of people who get all moody and shit, and a lot of people don't like that, and other people don't give a fuck about it. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and this person has the opposite moon sign to me. And we were just talking, and it was so funny because it was like I gave a scenario, and she was like, boom, I'll do it like this. I was like, no, that's the exact opposite of what the fuck I want to do. No, And it was just so funny to see, just because our signs were opposite, and we were literally going towards the same conclusion, but because it was in a professional setting, we was able to just chat about it, and she was interested in it, and I was like, well, I know this about it. Boom. And we was just laughing because that shit was funny as fuck, how same exact situation with the same exact outcome goal with two drastically different approaches. It's two drastically different. And so because I'm able to like really appreciate that shit now, I like things like that. It's fun to me to like laugh at how different we are, but how the same we are. And so I have taught people, I've taught children, I've taught adults, I've taught people. I can see like what I'm referring to in a lot of different ways. People just develop and grow at different rates. They just have different amounts of skills, and then they have different abilities when combining those recipes. And it's just you can just see it. You can just see it. And this is why I like talking to parents, but this is why I don't like talking to parents, because they don't tend to want to look at these things. They don't got the time. But it's because you're not taking the time to clear up some time. Nigga, that's why. You don't take the time to build a routine. You don't take the time to make the shit happen. You don't take the time. But guess what? What I'm talking about is you don't take the time with yourselves. And if you took the time with yourself, you'll see that you have more time around you. because you're enjoying more parts of yourself. The parts of you who wouldn't mind cleaning up the kitchen, starting with the floor, versus the person who starts with the counter. Guess what? There's different ways to start on the floor, and that's the key. Just becoming aware that you're different or you can be different, that is the key. That is the key. Because if you can think that you can change, you can be something else, then you can dissociate from certain thoughts and you can be a little bit more objective with yourself. You can be more of a judge because you have, let's say, support. You have a higher understanding. You've learned something. I got some experience. I've matured. I've learned my lesson. All of those things we can say. What we're referring to is that those things have changed. And in those changing things, it has allowed me to see a difference within myself. And because I've seen myself change, we're not talking about growth yet, just because I've seen the change. Damn, I normally get strawberry ice cream, but today I feel a change. I'm getting vanilla. I've changed. And then I go right back to my original change. Next time I'm in here, I'm getting strawberry again. And I do. What caused the change? Sometimes we don't know why that change happened. Sometimes you don't. But you know that something has changed. And guess what? That can spark curiosity. And because you have been sparked, that means you are willing now. You're willing to solve the mystery. You're willing to find out. You're willing to try what you know. And then say, damn, I don't know. What you got? If you're willing to do those things, then you'll be willing to have a lot more fun with yourself in life. So that's why I'm taking the time to try to elicit different responses to myself. I'm trying to learn how to work with my devils a little bit differently. I'm trying to understand that I don't have to go tit for tat all the time with certain aspects of life, certain aspects of myself. I don't need to do any of those things. I can just say, hey, what's the difference? Even if it's a feeling, even if it's a passion, even if it's a routine, the thought will come and it will lead the way. The thought will come and say, we got to do it this way. But then I can stand up and say, well, I remember somebody else doing it like this. I wonder if that shit works for me. Now the response should be like, instead of just doing it because you're letting yourself do it, you're asking it, you're challenging yourself, you're challenging your ego. You're trying to see if you got the strength to say, hey, maybe I can do it their way. Maybe I can't. Will it be easy for me to do it their way? Will it be hard? I'm curious. That's that ego, man. That's the ego I'm trying to get us to understand. And so, because I didn't pull any cards, I'm not going to give anything else, I guess. I'm going to pull one overall, but that'll be the one that I do when I come back from doing what I got to do. Obviously, that heard my alarm. I got to go. So, with that being said, I think that was like 15 minutes anyway. Let's get a overall message on how we can, like, elicit different kind of thoughts to ourselves so we can improve our relationship, and then we can respond in ways that we never really considered. But because we're considering them, because we're actually taking the time to be considerate, then we can have a different type of relationship. So, got to consider yourself so you can be considerate of others. And if you can't be considerate of self, use an other as an example of how you potentially could. Just get the ball rolling, in other words. Just get the ball rolling. Build the momentum. Take a step. Take a step, and you'll keep going and doing the right things. And that's it. So I like this card. Oh, especially coming out with the 9 of potions. So this heartbreak, this is what you're reviewing. This is what you need to review. It doesn't matter where the heartbreak comes from. I mean, get into, let's say, get into a job, or let's say you want to go to the gym, get into a job, whatever, and you get there early just for the person who opens up the place to be late. That's the kind of heartbreak that I'm feeling right now. This is nothing like drastic or, tower moment esque. I don't feel that way. I feel like what this is something that you already get this, you already understand this, you kind of already moved past this, but it seems like there's snippets, there's little parts of you that like that's holding you back, keeping you like stuck in a little routine or something. And I think it's because you've healed through these things. You've healed through these changes. You've healed through those wounds. And so you still have the knife in you. That's what I feel like. You still got the sword in you. You still got the thought in you. You still got that piercing weapon, just still ricocheting and causing damage. That bullet is still inside the body and it's bouncing off things. It's ricocheting, it's causing damage even though the shot was long gone. Long ago from yesterday. So because of that, this thought in your mind is really impacting your emotions. But the thought itself just got this download. The thought themselves are ethereal. Damn, that's why you've been seeing physical reactions, physical changes, but it's due to the ethereal makeup of these wounds. These are thought forms. These are avatar bodies of light. These are what we are. This is the creation of life in and of themselves. This is what people are. And what people are is the thoughts or the light forms of the higher power. It's not the highest power, but the higher. And what it is it's you creating these characters, you can kind of say. It's you creating these wounds. And these wounds are created because these things are they're permeating places that have trauma attached to them. Even though the trauma is healed, it's still a difference. There's a change. You know, like let's say sports. In sports, if you tear your hamstring or something like that, or get a sprain or a strain even, those things really damage you. Like they damage your career. They change not just your body, but it changes how your legs can explode and how much power you can generate. And so that completely changes the game on like that player because it just can't produce the same way unless it heals and gets stronger or whatever. But the idea is you have to overcome that. And but that still never changes the fact that there is a trauma induced difference. And the only reason why you're stronger now is because of the trauma, but because you're stronger, you're always considering that option of getting fucked up again through a strain or a tear or a sprain. Those are the things that are in the back of your mind, we say. That's what this heartbreak energy feels like. It feels like the emotions are coming together and they're like producing these heartbreak, you know, remembrances, it's these considerations. So what I'm thinking is we need to take this information and learn how to live with the heartbreak and the heartache a little bit better. That's why I think the retailoring the job position to what you're actually doing with your negative aspects, retailoring that, I think that's what needs to change just a little bit. Like maybe it's setting, maybe it's frequency, maybe it's vibration. Whatever of those three that you decide to do, you still have to apply it twice to yourself. So you gotta just apply it like if the teacher gave an instruction. All right, open your book. Again, remember, because you didn't give a page number or anything else, you just said open your book. People are going to receive that general information differently. They're going to elicit different responses in the classroom. That's what you want to do with yourself. Give yourself something general about this trauma so you can create an opportunity for yourself. And when you create that opportunity for yourself, it's going to allow you to listen to different versions of you who might got something to say. But because you